If you stand in the center of Philadelphia today, you're greeted by a vision of pristine American history. Structures like Carpenter's Hall sit quietly among mature trees and wide open lawns, looking exactly as peaceful as you'd imagine the 18th century to be. This tranquility is largely an illusion. The landscape surrounding these famous landmarks is a highly manufactured 20th century creation. Just a few decades ago, Independence Hall was completely boxed in by a continuous, towering wall of commercial architecture. This neighborhood was a loud, dense metropolis. Thousands of people packed these narrow streets daily, commuting between grand banking institutions and industrial offices. To create the quiet colonial park we know today, city planners executed a ruthless, deliberate erasure of Philadelphia's 19th century history. In 1948, Congress officially authorized Independence National Historical Park. The mandate prioritized buildings tied to the American Revolution over any other era. This urban planning model reveals their radical spatial strategy. To isolate revolutionary monuments from the dense city blocks, planners mapped vast artificial clearings through the grid. These strict visual pathways perfectly framed Independence Hall. Any structure blocking these sightlines was condemned. One of the most prominent casualties was the Guarantee Trust and Safe Deposit Company. Built on Chestnut Street to be nearly fireproof, it was a massive, highly ornate structure. In 1957, it was torn down, simply because it blocked the new view toward Carpenter's Hall. It wasn't an isolated case. By the late 1950s, wrecking crews brought down the intricate Provident Life and Trust Building, along with the massive 10-story Drexel Building. Perhaps the most significant loss was the Jayne Building. Completed in 1850 and rising 8 stories, it is widely considered one of America's earliest skyscrapers. These magnificent monuments stood as the physical embodiment of America's post-revolution commercial and industrial explosion. Not everyone agreed with this clear-cutting approach. Prominent architects like Charles Peterson actively fought the demolition orders. Peterson argued that a city is a continuous, living timeline. The massive banking and industrial booms of the 1800s were the direct result of the independence secured in the 1700s. To delete a century of progress was to falsify the city's actual evolution. However, the desire to create an idealized setting for the nation's founding myths held more political weight. The bulldozers moved in. Entire city blocks of heavy stone and brick were reduced to dust, wiping out generations of history in mere months. The winning faction curated a specific, sanitized myth at the expense of continuous reality. When the dust settled, the dense commercial corridors were gone. In their place were sprawling lawns, brick pathways, and highly engineered, unobstructed views. The project unquestionably succeeded in its primary goal. It saved our most vital founding monuments and allowed millions of people to visit them. Yet it required the permanent sacrifice of a vibrant architectural era. Today, even the National Park Service acknowledges the tragedy of this approach. The towering structures of the 19th century now exist only as fragmented, buried foundations hidden directly beneath the manicured grass. Historic preservation is a ruthless editorial process, where the survival of one era requires the calculated sacrifice of another.